it might spoil.
Yes.
I want to jump now to another topic, which is still related to Tantra, and that is to the theory of Microvita. Please tell us, what is Microvita?
Microvita was first explained by my teacher, and the title he said is the mysterious emanation of the cosmic factor. And he said that mysterious is when we don't understand something, then we call it mysterious. With that idea, it is not that easy for us to understand Microvita, but it's supposed to be the minutest particle of life. So micro, small, vita, life, and that will be plural, vita, or microvitum or vitum as singular. So this microvita will be like the minutest particle of life, or basically what creates life. It means that microvita, like a concentration of microvita, will create other beings, will create like millions of microvita joined together, let's say, will create carbon atoms, which is what we think is the origin of life. So this microvita is something even smaller than that.
And your teacher, who is Sri Sri Anandamurti,
right?
How do you think he was able to develop this idea? I mean, did it come intuitively? I think that's a fair question. How would you answer that question?
Yeah, it's a mental investigation, let's say. The laboratory is your mind.
Right.
And mind has capacity to perceive things that are beyond the senses.
You know, let me add something. For example, how did the yogis discover chakras? You know, when chakras are not a physical thing,
right.
It came through years and years of practice.
Yes.
And so I just want to add on to what you're saying. So likewise, something like Microvita could also be discovered due to years and years of deep practice through yoga and Tantra.
Right, exactly. Let me make an effort to give an idea. We are living in this world. So suppose I'm here, you are here, and there are trees and things around us, right?
Okay.
And how does this come into the cosmic perspective? I could make a comparison, like I am here now, and in my mind I'm thinking of a man, and this man is riding a horse.
Okay,
so I'm thinking that, or I'm dreaming that there is this horse and there is a man riding it. Okay?
All right.
That is fruit of my mental creation, or my mental imagination.
Right.
But that man who is riding the horse, for him, from his perspective, he is riding the horse, and the horse is a reality for him.
Exactly.
And he is a reality for himself. And he is riding on a field and he sees that field. But coming in my perspective, everything is my imagination.
Right.
Now, if we think that the whole universe is the imagination of the cosmic mind, so this cosmic mind is basically thinking us,
right,
and the planets and the whole universe. So everything is within this cosmic mind. So for me, I'm here and I'm seeing this tree and I see you. It's something external to me, but we are both with everything inside this thought of the cosmic mind.
Right.
Now, if I can change my perspective from my individual mind to the cosmic mind, it means if I can connect my limited mind with this infinite cosmic mind,
wow,
then I get all that knowledge that is within the cosmic mind.
Whoa, really?
Isn't it? You get the kind of the perspective.
Wow, that's really interesting.
So that's the way that one can know everything. by connecting with the cosmic mind.
Connecting with the mind that knows everything.
That knows everything, yes.
And I've heard of that there is positive Microvita and there is negative Microvita.
Okay, this idea of positive Microvita and negative Microvita has to do with their scope of action. Like the negative Microvita is related more to the more physical things, more crude manifestations of life.
Okay.
While that's the negative one. Negative. And the positive is more subtle. Let's say in the human being, the negative one will work, for the people who know about the chakras, will work in the lower chakras, and the positive will work in the higher chakras. So if the negative, let's say the negative makes you more material, more crude, and the positive makes you more subtle, more spiritual.
I've also heard of this theory of the Devayanis and the Pretayanis. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
The Devayanis are collective forms of Microvita.
Okay.
Let's say there is what people call luminous body.
Yeah.
So these are the Devayanis. Now these luminous bodies, they have different expressions. There is one that will encourage people to become spiritual. There is one that will encourage people in the direction of music.
All right.
Yeah. So, but these.
So these are different categories.
Yes.
One could make you more spiritual. One could make you more artistic. Or okay.
It's like a being, but it's a being that does not have the solid and liquid factor.
Okay.
Let's say our body is made of 5 fundamental factors.
Right. Right.
Solid factor, liquid, luminous, aerial, and ethereal. So 5 factors. But these Devayanis, they will not have neither the solid factor nor the liquid factor.
Wow.
So that's why people say luminous bodies.
Okay.
Let's say that it's a being
Okay.
that doesn't have the body like we have, like our body I touch, it's kind of physical, right? Solid. There is solid and there is so much liquid in my body. But there is also light, and there is also ether and air in my body.
Right.
So these beings don't have the solid part and the liquid part. Therefore, the most the dense factor that they have is the light.
Okay.
So when you see them, you will see them in form of light.
That's cool.
So it could be like a being of light.
And what about Pretayanis?
Well, Pretayanis would be, because there are other beings that don't have the solid factor, but they do have the liquid factor.
Wow. Okay. So all right.
And there are myths of beings that live in water, no? Maybe those were these beings that have only the
liquid factor.
The liquid factor.
And the other ones.
Yeah. The thing is that even Devayanis were known to yogis in the past. Even though, for example, my teacher, Shishyanandamurti, he came out with the Microvita theory. You know, theories are explanations of things that are phenomena. For example, Newton came with the theory of gravity, but it's not that gravity started existing when he came up with the theory. Neither the perception of gravity was also before that.
Of course.
But he came with a good explanation about the whole thing.
Right.
So these Devayanis, they've been known to yogis. So these Microvita were known to yogis. They knew about it, but they didn't have a theory that put everything together to explain the behavior and explain how it works.
Right.
So now came this Microvita theory to explain something that people had perception or perceived before, but didn't have a good theory how to explain it.
Yeah.
So that's where the Microvita theory comes.
like Tantra was practiced for way before Shiva,
Yes.
who was supposed to be then the one who made the theory, made the institution or the practices of Tantra
Yeah.
in a package, for example.
Yeah, he kind of gave a system.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then one more question about this, just to maybe help distinguish in somebody's mind, because, you know, in Tantra, in spirituality, things should be rational.
Right.
So how would you distinguish the Devayanis, Pratayanis, the positive Microvita, the negative Microvita from things like ghosts, things from like spirits? What's a good way to distinguish those two? Because
Well, people, it's in the mind of people.
Okay.
Right? Like, suppose I'm a very religious person.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm very subtle, and I can see luminous body.
Okay.
All right? So if I do that, I will think, oh, it's an angel.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, if you're a religious
Yes.
person.
Right.
Okay.
But now suppose I'm a superstitious person. I say this is a ghost.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's so interesting.
Okay, now most ghosts, because the people to really perceive a luminous body, you have to have a more subtle mind. So usually superstitious people will not really come in contact with these luminous beings. But many times these people, what they think are ghosts are nothing more than their own projection.
Right. Okay.
Means it's their mind playing with themselves because they are very concentrated, let's say, due to fear, and it could be two things: either just they perceive something and get that imagination, or they really project it from their mind and create it.
Right.
So
Right.
their mental creation is the ghost. Means one person will think every time that I go by that tree, I see a shadow.
Yeah.
It may be that every time he goes so concentrated that he projects that shadow there and he sees it. Now, as human beings, okay, even if there is a ghost, okay, let's say there is a ghost, but what can the ghost do? Because if the ghost doesn't have a physical...
Maybe we should do a video on that.
Yeah,
No,
it's
just
another,
kidding.
it's a complete other subject. But the idea is we don't need to fear existence of ghosts because most ghosts are just our imagination.
So how can the understanding of Microvita help human beings?
Right. The thing is that the theories that we have today, the atomic theories and or in physics, they don't really explain everything.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in chemistry, in pharmacy, people make medicine. And there are situations where one company makes a medicine, another company makes also, and they use the same chemical formula, but one works and the other one doesn't work. Right? So people say, oh, this brand is good, that one is not good.
Right.
If we analyze it through chemistry, it doesn't make sense because the formula is the same.
Are the same.
So that means that my knowledge of the formula is not enough to explain everything. So something is missing in my theory, in my formula, that can't explain everything that's happening, right? So Microvita adds to that. So in Microvita theory would be like, there is this chemical formula, plus there is a certain concentration of Microvita.
Okay.
Okay, let's say because of the difference in concentration of Microvita, one formula, both being the same formula, one has more effect than the other. So it's some addition.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
this will be the benefit, that if people understand and research on this theory, they may come to a point that they can explain the different phenomena in the world in a better way.